Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Wow, it's Westfield. It is August 13th, 2019 and counting. And I am just looking at the cameras and I'm wondering, are those one of the cameras on there, Peter?
Yeah, the middle one.
Oh, which one? The middle one?
Yeah, it should be with the red light on it.
Oh, there doesn't seem to be a red light.
There should be.
No, I'm looking for a red light. I have no. Oh, there it is. There we go. There we go. See, okay. All right, there. We'll move my microphone so you can see my glorious face.
And there you go.
Hey, everybody. My name is Bob Plass. This is the Westfield and Weekend Show, direct from the Westfield Technical Academy up here on the hill in Westfield, in glorious Westfield. We are a product of Westfield State University, the city of Westfield, and with the collaboration, of course, of Westfield Technical Academy, which is part of the school department of Westfield, the city of Westfield.
Everybody, one big happy family.
We are, and that man behind the board over there, who you don't see on camera since we moved to our new studio, is Peter Coles, the kitten of the Keys. Meow. And he is the August arbiter of the airways. How's that?
Okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. And guess who?
Actually, before I realized you only saw the back of my head anyway.
You only saw that, but there's a constant presence there. Now I sort of feel like you're, like we're waving at each other across a crowded room, and we are waving.
How about this, Bob? How about when the students come back, I'll get a really long cable and I'll sit at the table with you guys.
I would love that. I mean, like, there's something, have you ever tried to talk? Well, the disc jockeys, you've done it for years. You've talked to yourself on the radio for years. What do you call it? A radio personality.
Yeah, radio personality, DJ, sure. You talk to yourself a lot.
You really talk to yourself.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, I want to make sure that I have my decaffeinated coffee. Talking to yourself is normal for me. Where do you talk to yourself the most? Everybody ask yourself that question.
In bed.
In bed.
Sometimes I'll talk to myself. Or, I'll just sit there quietly and think in my brain talking to myself about what's going on and what I got to do. And
I talk to myself.
Today's a particular challenge for me.
Oh, well, we'll talk about that in a sec.
Yeah.
Well, the supermarket is where I talk to myself very much.
Really?
Oh, I'm going up and down those aisles. Is this the aisle for the? In saying to this is me. Where's the salad dressing? Okay. Do I get Paul Newman? Maybe I should just have vinegar and I don't want that. No. And this goes on. I mean, from aisle to aisle to aisle. If you've seen me in the store, they probably think I'm nuts. Well, first they do at where I shop at the Big Y because I'm around the corner from there.
That's a short jaunt for you.
Short jaunt. And although I do stop in occasionally at Stop and Shop, but we don't have many other choices, do we?
Not really.
No. So I go into the Big Y like a European. You know what that means?
No.
A European shop because they only have, sometimes in their tiny little apartments, they only have like a half a fridge, a small fridge.
Okay.
So they shop for the evening meal the day of the evening meal.
I do that a lot.
Do you?
Yeah.
I try to do it every 2 or 3 days, and I always have that pot pie that is ready-made in the freezer just in case. The rest of the time
It's your backup plan.
It's my backup plan in case I'm at a meeting or something or whatever.
Right.
But and here's news from the Big Y. Have you been in there recently?
No.
Okay. Well,
I'm actually a Price Right guy.
Oh, are you? Oh, I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. I've never been over there, mainly because I'm around the corner.
Yeah, right.
You get used to stuff. But the Big Y throughout New England has discontinued the use of plastic bags.
Okay.
So you get to the register, and you have your items, and you are waiting for them to bag it, and if you don't bring in your own bag or pay 10 cents for a paper bag, they do not give you the plastic. There is no plastic bag.
Okay, so they do charge you for it.
Well, they charge you for if indeed you need a bag. If you don't need a bag, it's like Costco where you can carry out the individual items.
Well,
you know,
the reason most supermarket chains changed was because the cost of paper bags in the United States. That's why they changed to plastic years ago. I remember when they did it.
Oh, really?
And they said it was cheaper to have the plastic bags than to have paper bags.
Is that right?
And that's why they got rid of them. Not because they were any better, because they're probably not any better, but because of the cost per bag. So now, Big Y has become environmentally conscious, which I think is fine.
Yeah.
But you're paying for it. And they're not jacking up the prices of everything in the store.
Uh-huh.
They're actually making you pay for the bag.
Yes, it's exactly right.
So there is a cost to that.
Oh yeah. Oh, I really believe that. But it's how do you change a culture? That's the thing. I was thinking about it.
I think they never should have gone away from the paper bag. They should have charged for them. But at the time,
oh yeah,
there was such an uproar. We're not paying for a bag.
Oh yeah. Oh, of course. Well,
now people have been trained over 20 years or so.
Yeah, and we're so used to going. So what happens? They have these great plastic bags there that have the Big Y label on it that you could buy. They think they're two for $4 or something, or $2 a piece, or whatever. And you then end up buying a bag because you're bagless, and I just learned that I could a dummy here. I could wheel my cart out with all of the stuff in it and just place it in my car without a bag, and then do that same thing when I reach home. But I've been buying a bag every time I'm at the line, and I forget that
the reusable bag,
a reusable bag, and the bags are actually really pretty lovely. I mean, I got one with Cape Cod motif on it, and there's Red Sox ones and all this stuff. But I'm accumulating these reusable bags. So yesterday, I finally got up I made up my mind. I'm going to keep the bags, or 2 bags, in the car.
Yeah.
And then go out to the car if I've forgotten the bag.
Just bring your cart out.
And that's exactly, and so I put the food to the side. They say I say I'll be right back. I go out to the car, makes me walk a little farther, makes my heart beat a little faster, and look, I'm helping myself as well as helping the environment, and that's where I stand.
You're a good doobie, Bob.
Oh man, I am such a good doobie, but changing me is like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I have to learn new tricks. I got to learn to jump
Bob,
through the hoop.
I can go political for a minute, but
go ahead.
But just like they've in the college level, it's very liberal, very liberal. So
yeah, sure.
It takes time to train people to do new things.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure it took you what years to figure out the reusable bag thing and do that.
Right.
Well, it's the same thing. They're changing the political culture by doing it in the schools. It's a training thing.
Well, it's not only the political culture. It's
anything. It's training. It takes time.
Oh gosh,
it takes 6 weeks to develop a new habit.
Is that
if
what
you
it
do
is?
something continuously? Yeah, I've listened to Dr. Gary Gorman for years. He said if you want to change your lifestyle, eating habits, whatever,
right,
you need to stick with it for at least 6 weeks, because 6 weeks is kind of the tipping point for a habit.
Wow. Oh my God! Does that mean now I have to get up and run? I'm back to running again after falling on my face.
I wouldn't run, Bob. I'd do power walking.
Power walking.
At your age, power walking. I wouldn't run. I would only at your age. I would only run if I was on a treadmill and being supervised.
Oh my God.
Because you
really?
Can hurt yourself, Bob.
Oh, I can.
Yes.
Oh, I did. I did.
I know that should have been a lesson to you.
I look like a clown. Remember that picture?
Yes, I know.
Oh gosh.
That's why you shouldn't be running out. You should talk to like Nabil and join the gym and run on a treadmill but you should.
I am so against going to a gym. Isn't it awful? I just don't want anyone to see me. I don't want even
Bob.
James to see me. When I walk in, I have these 10-pound what do you call dumbbells?
Yeah, weights. They call them weights.
Oh,
Bob.
is that what they're called?
Yes.
I have these 10-pound weights that I do my
Yes.
exercises,
Oh, that's fine.
and whatever in front of the TV.
Bob, you shouldn't be
if
ashamed about anything.
I know.
Listen, I'm a fat man, and I'm not ashamed of it.
You're a graceful, large man.
I'm a fat man.
I could never.
I know what I am.
No, but I couldn't be that. It's like somebody calling. You can call me gay, but you can't call me Nelly or something.
Okay.
To me, the word fat is pejorative.
Not to me.
Is it? It's not.
No, see, I don't take offense at a lot of things, Bob. You know me over 5 years. It takes a lot to get me offended.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those people that goes like, "Oh, I'm so," you know what I mean? It's just
No, I know
I
it.
don't. It's like it's pointless to waste time on getting offended. It's a waste of energy.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I've learned that, and you help me to do that because you're always saying, let it go, Bob. Let it go.
Yeah, it's a waste of your energy.
Yeah,
It really is.
Yeah. Well, it makes for good radio. So
It does. I love sparring with you about stuff because it's fun.
Yeah, it's exactly right.
That's why I was good in debate class in high school.
Were you in a debate class?
Yes.
So the class for a debate.
In college too.
What do they do in the class?
You take a topic and you take a side.
Every time.
I usually took the unpopular side because it was more fun.
Oh, and
It's easy to defend the popular side. It's hard to defend the unpopular side.
No, it's true. I found that sometimes arguing with you. I mean, vice versa. I'm sure.
But like I learned from that class, and especially in college, that nothing's ever mean spirited. You're just debating a point, and people that take it personally I worry about them because those are the people that tend to snap and things like that, and they get very upset and they turn red, and it's it's pointless.
Yeah.
It's absolutely pointless.
At what point does a debater become an advocate? Do you know what I'm saying?
By the very nature, you're an advocate. You're advocating an idea. And I probably said that wrong.
Sure.
Idea.
Sure. Yeah.
Idea.
Idea. We say idea here in
New England. It's a New England thing, yeah.
An idea. It sounds even funny, doesn't it? Everybody
Sounds
out
like
there
IKEA.
say idea.
IKEA.
Rhymes with idea.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy. We say idea.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, when have you? It's ever like you have an idea that's on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And you're defending it in a debate.
Yeah.
Okay. At what point do you give in, or do you?
You can say we agree. You can say we agree to disagree. That it's coming to the point of no solution. That the further debate is pointless. Because the whole point of a debate is to one side to try to swing the other at least a little bit to their side.
Sure.
And if you're at an impasse, then it's pointless after that.
Would the end of a debate often be I understand you? I mean, that's really what you're trying to do is to have the person
No, I understand
understand your philosophy, your idea.
See, that's the thing in politics. I understand the other side very clearly. I don't agree with them. People don't on the other side. It seems to me that people don't understand that I can completely get your point and still not agree with you. On the other side,
the other side of that, Peter, as somebody who's often on the other side of you, I also understand that you have a right to your opinion. So I guess
right, but you're different than most because most people on that side of the coin, as it were, think their idea is the only right idea, and that you're completely wrong, even if you believe you're right or if you have facts to back up you're right. You're still wrong. And that's what frustrates most people that lean on my side of the coin. And I'm not talking about the radicals of either side because they're nutburgers.
Yeah.
Both far left, far right.
Right.
I'm talking about the people that lean just right or just left of center, that they get frustrated because on the other side of the coin, on the left side, you get shouted down because their answer is the only right answer, and they won't come to the point. Unlike you, they won't come to the point of saying, "I understand what you mean, and I understand where you're coming from, but I don't agree with it."
Yeah.
They just say we're right, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that to me, that's why I say this all the time, is that the far right has religion as their thing. right? The far left has liberalism as a religion.
Ooh,
And
that's interesting.
And it's a very good concept that
As a far lefter, or I'm not a far lefter, but
no, you're not.
But I'm a
but
left
I know
person.
a lot that are. The far left have liberalism as a religion because a lot of them
Well, don't you think
identify as agnostic.
Well, don't you think that Mitch McConnell has the far right as a religion, or
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
the far
yeah.
right has Christianity as their religion, right?
Yeah.
The far left, if you look at most of them profiles, things like that, they identify as agnostic or non-believer, whatever. And so that void in their life, because you have to fill it somehow.
All right,
Human
so-
beings need that.
Yeah, sure.
So that liberalism becomes their religion. And it's an interesting concept because I brought it up to some theologians, and they tend to agree with me.
Well, liberalism then would, but you have to define what liberalism is, I suppose. The ability of the civilization to give totally back to the individual, sort of like every person is entitled to, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, we're not going to get into a debate over
You
this.
go philosophical.
Yeah. And that, to me, is, well, a liberal person is somebody who is more willing to give away money than the right. Would that be? I mean, I'm breaking it really
Somewhat,
way down.
yeah. That's kind of very broad.
Yeah.
Some would call that the American dream on the right because you work hard for what you got. You shouldn't give it away.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas I immediately,
Now, a lot of people-
I hear that and I say to myself, but I have enough. And I am the Bible. Oh, here, look at me, a Bible on the left side of the argument. The Bible says you should help the stranger. You should help
Correct.
your neighbor.
Correct. But also on the Christianity side, you need to help yourself before you can help your neighbor.
Ah, I get it. Okay, all
So
right.
take care of yourself first,
Uh-huh.
and then you can take care of others. So like somebody like the owner of Microsoft, right? Bill Gates.
Yes. Yeah.
He has become altruistic because he will never be able to spend all his money.
Right.
So some of these people, and this is what doesn't get highlighted in the evil corporate, all that kind of stuff, where they get all painted with a broad brush. A lot of people who are very, very wealthy do a lot of charity stuff, like, sports stars. They have foundations that they give money to, that they run
Sure.
because they believe in a cause. Well, they have the means to do that.
Right.
Somebody like me,
The average
the only means that I have is my time. I
Uh-huh.
don't have the financial means to do that, so I give of my time.
That's right. We volunteer, don't we?
Correct.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point: is you do what you can, but the other, what I get from the other side is take care of others before yourself, and I don't like that tenet. That tenet doesn't strike true with me.
Okay. If we take care of each other before other, no, we
No,
can,
take
no,
care
that's
of yourself before
Yeah,
others.
it's-
That's a very simple one.
Yeah, I know. That's,
Anyway, 6:20 at
yeah.
WSKD.
Oh my God,
we probably
talked-
should take a break.
We've gone from paper bags to politics. How do you like that?
And we're doing it in a nice way too.
How do you like that? If they could do that in Washington, both of us would be very, very happy.
We should run for office.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Hey,
I know nowadays with social media, I wouldn't want to run
Yeah.
for office, honestly.
yeah, about today is the 12th of August, right? Tomorrow,
13th.
It's today's the 13th.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, it's on the top of your paper, August 13th.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. Oh, who's the president, etc. Where do I live?
Oh, you know that. You don't have a concussion.
Get me to a home.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, no. Hey, 50 years ago, what
know.
happened? What happened?
A lot of people got really muddy.
We got muddy. It was 3 days of peace and love. Woodstock happened, and so we're going to celebrate Woodstock, and we're going to celebrate big bands today. And Woodstock, hey, this
That's
song.
two diametrically opposite things.
Oh,
Big
yeah.
bands and Woodstock.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, although I found a connection, believe it or not, I
Really?
found later in the program.
Okay,
you'll
I
see
gotta
my
hear this
connection.
after the break.
Yeah. So, who wrote the song Woodstock?
I have no idea, honestly.
Joni Mitchell.
Oh, okay. They're
Yeah,
very, yep.
yeah. Joni
Huge folk artist of the 60s.
Oh, you're absolutely right. Joni Mitchell was the girlfriend of
I don't know.
Graham Nash.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Crosby,
See,
Stills,
you got to
Nash,
give me some history because I wasn't born yet.
I know. Oh. That makes me
71,
feel,
Bob. I was born in 71.
Yeah, I am 74.
I've heard about Woodstock. I've seen documentaries.
Well, then we're going to
but-
talk about it a lot today, probably. Hey, so Joni Mitchell writes this song, Woodstock. Was she at Woodstock?
I don't think so.
She wasn't at Woodstock. What happened was she needed to do the Dick Cavett show the next day, and the roads were all blocked because there were so many people going, and you
The
couldn't get
hippies
in.
came in droves.
Oh my God, it was forever. And so she ended up not getting to Woodstock. So she gave her boyfriend this song. She actually recorded it as well, the Woodstock song. And she made a mistake. There was something about 500,000 strong. There were a different number than that. But we are going to play Woodstock, but we're not going to play the Joni Mitchell version because it's 6 minutes. We're not going to play the Graham Nash, Crosby, Stills, and Nash head because it's longer.
Oh, for crap's sakes,
Oh,
Bob.
no. So we're going
You
to
have no
play.
JPEG Luca today. You
Yeah.
can play as long a song as you want.
Oh, right. James Taylor recorded this.
Okay.
And you know what I like about this? Is I sang that song for years, but I never really got the words, or I never even thought about what the words meant. He gets across the words. James Taylor, and it's a shorter version. It's actually only 3 minutes and 35 seconds of James Taylor singing Joni Mitchell's Woodstock in celebration of the 50th anniversary of Woodstock.
Well, I came upon a child of God. He was walking down the road, and I asked him, brother, where you going? And this he told me. Said, I'm going down to Yasgur's farm, gonna join in a rock and roll band, gonna camp out on the land, try to set my soul free. We are stardust and we are golden. We are million-year-old carbon, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden, yeah. Then can I walk beside you? I've come to lose my small. And I feel as if I'm a cog in something turning. Yes, and maybe it's the time of year, and maybe it's the time of man. And I don't know who I am, but life is for learning. We are stardust, we are golden, we are million-year-old carbon, and we got to get ourselves back to the garden. By the time we got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong, and everywhere was a song and a celebration, yeah. And I dreamed I saw the bomber death ships flying shotgun in the sky, yeah, turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stardust, we are golden, we are caught in the devil's bargain, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. Yes, we are stardust, we are golden, we are million-year-old carbon, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Underwriting for community radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and it is August 13th, 2019.
Busy
And,
week this week, Bob.
You are. You know, I was just thinking about that. I mean, you've been busy since.
I've been busy since I landed.
I don't think,
from Florida.
Peter, admit it. You do not want to see another baseball game for another year.
I'm good, yeah. After this week, I'm good.
How many baseball games have you seen since, let's say, the beginning of the month?
Between baseball and softball?
Yeah.
Let's see. We probably have over 150.
Can you imagine that, folks? 150 games.
And I was running around. I mean, you know, I had to put on a basically professional grade broadcast in Florida, setting up a whole mobile unit.
You were down there. Tell everybody for the Babe Ruth
softball, and I started the Cal Ripken baseball, which is the little kids.
I see. Gotcha.
So 8s, 9s, 11s.
Yeah. Then you got back here, and you had how many? A couple of days?
I had one day.
One day, and then you started the Babe Ruth
13-year-old
World Series. How do you
World Series?
How do you bill it?
It's a World Series.
Yeah, but it's the Babe Ruth 13-year-old World Series.
Correct. For the 13 and under age division, the World Series is being held. So Babe Ruth does
right here in Westfield.
Yeah,
the World Series.
The World Series. Yeah. So Babe Ruth does 13s, 14s, 15s, and then they have a individual World Series for each of those. But then some leagues don't have enough to have individual 13, 14, 15 teams. So they have a 13 to 15 World Series that you can be any of those ages and have a team in that World Series.
Oh wow! I
so
understand.
There's 4 of them going on right now for Babe Ruth baseball, and then also right now going on is an 8U kid pitch World Series in Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
A kid pitch,
right?
Explain
so what
this.
happens is Babe Ruth has 8 regions, and 5 of the regions do machine pitch. So they have an umpire with a machine. It's a spring-loaded thing, and it's basically the same pitch every time. And the thing is pretty much automatic. So 5 regions do that.
Level the field. It's everybody gets the same chance.
Yeah, they get 5 pitches, and they either hit it or they don't. But 3 regions, including New England, does kid pitch, where at 8 years old, they have very strict pitching numbers that they can pitch.
Yeah.
But the kids pitch the game. It's not T-ball. It's not machine pitch. It's the kids actually pitch. It's not coaches pitch, whatever.
Yeah.
So what they decided was last year they were all together, and it was very unfair for the kids that do live pitching.
Yeah.
Because they're not used to seeing that machine sit out there, not used to have somebody standing there. It's a different, your eyes trained to see a pitcher pitch. So they decided this year to split them up and have, one for the kid pitch and one for the machine pitch. So the kid pitch is in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. So those 3 regions, there's 13 teams that were invited to that World Series, and they're playing right now. They're playing on 2 fields down in New Jersey.
Wow, and we're playing up here at Bullens Field, right?
Correct, primarily at Bullens. Today we have a little bit of an issue because impending weather. It's going to rain this afternoon.
Oh, scattered showers or
No,
something.
no, 70% chance of showers and thunderstorms. So it's going to rain this afternoon.
Okay. So what
so
do you
to
do?
accommodate that, we
Yeah.
have a backup field at Westfield State University.
Uh-huh.
Jim and Bud Hagen Field, I believe it is.
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
right. The Higgins.
And we're going to utilize that and play 2 games simultaneously at 9 o'clock to get the 2 semifinal games in. Because the weather tomorrow looks to be nice.
Oh, it does.
And the weather for Thursday looks to be
Oh,
nice
yeah.
as well.
I'm
So-
glad about that.
So those 2 days look to be good. Today was the only bump in the road. So I said, let's get them in early, give everybody the rest of the day off, and we'll get it done. Well, that throws a
Is
challenge.
that and it's one of those games, a Westfield game? I mean, like
No.
no. Oh, okay.
they
I
got
thought one of the
eliminated. They got
Westfield.
eliminated last night.
Oh,
So they had a win. Had a win, or have the opposing team score less than 3 runs to get into the playoff round.
Uh-huh.
And a very good Calgary team that was 0-3, but they had a 21-13 game, so they could definitely had a good offense.
Right.
They were able to eke out. I think it was ended up being 7-1. I think was the final.
Uh-huh.
So they got a win. They're out too. They didn't make the cut either,
Wow.
but they won their final game, so that's good.
Yeah, yeah. So the games
So
are
Westfield did one game though. They won a really impressive game the other night.
9 o'clock this morning at Bullens and over at the Hagen Field
yeah,
at
Westfield
State.
Yep.
And
So that
then-
presents challenges for me in the coverage department.
Yeah. How do you do that?
So
How do you be in 2 places at once?
Oh, I have somebody. One of my students, Emily, will be here doing the game here.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a camera operator for Hagen Field. We're going to do it from the football press box, which overlooks right field.
Uh-huh. Sure.
I have announcers for here, and I think I have announcers for the other one. I think Dan Kanapik is going to be able to do that game. Guest at 7, by the way.
I do.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be helpful, so I can help him get his kit together.
Yeah. Dr. Kevin is coming.
Dr.
in.
Coughlin. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's good.
So I have to help him get a sound kit together so they can announce the game.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. So okay, so when does this all wind down? When's the last
You're not going to be happy with me.
Yeah, what is it?
The championship game is Thursday at 6.
Thursday at 6 o'clock.
What else happens around Thursday at 6?
Oh my aching back. Westfield on weekends is having their
You like that setup?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Yeah. Westfield on weekends is having Music Fest Thursday night at 6:30. Thank you, Peter. So if you're not going,
'cause I'm tired.
if you're not in love with baseball and you don't want to go to the World Series,
Yep.
you can stop down to the Green Park Square and actually see an incredible concert. We were trying to work it out today. Unfortunately, we were not to have Samara Evans, who is the vocalist for the Wolf Pit Big Band.
Yeah.
16 pieces strong, a 16-piece orchestra. When do you get a chance to hear of professional musicians with an incredible first-rate singer from New Orleans? You really got to hear these people. Samara Evans and the Wolf Pit Orchestra Big Band, led by Tim Atherton. Unfortunately, Ed Orgel, who is the founder and the regular director, is out in Spokane with some family issues, and so is not able to be here.
Gotcha.
And he's feeling.
He's
so
got
bad.
good stand-ins, so.
Oh yeah, and so Tim Atherton is going to be the director for this time, and I urge everyone to come down and see this. It starts at 6:30. You can start coming down earlier because there's food. There is I think Pooza in their pulled pork truck. Does that
North
make
Elm
it?
Butcher Block.
Well, that's what they're called. All right.
That's the name of the business,
it's
Bob.
It's not the pulled pork truck. That
No.
sort of sounds kind of strange. Isn't it?
They do barbecue, Bob.
Barbecue,
Yes.
and I think Malicious Ice Cream is down there as well, and there may be one.
Malicious will probably have the scoop truck because their soft serve truck trailer
Yeah.
is at Bullens Field.
Ah, gotcha.
So
So
they've been slinging ice cream and milkshakes all weekend.
How many people have been going to this?
A lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, the crowd's been pretty steady. It's surprising how many followers Canada has.
Okay, yeah, I know. You mentioned Calgary.
Calgary, yeah.
Yeah. And they're all eating around in the area and partaking and enjoying Westfield.
Yeah, we've done a really good job, I think, this time promoting the local businesses, and I know that they've been getting business from it. You know, it's tough because the teams are staying in Springfield, but they've been really, especially the Canadian team and some of the other teams have been asking where to go from here. There's a team from Hawaii playing as well.
Oh, really?
Yep, I believe they made the cut, so they're in the playoffs. Yeah, they're playing at 9:00 at Westfield State.
Oh,
Hawaii Kai.
Hawaii Kai. So who do you think is going to win the whole shindig?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm so busy producing the games and making sure they get on technically. I haven't been able to watch a lot of baseball, so you'd have to ask. You know, the best people to ask are the people that are running the press box. The scoring and the because they're there the whole time. So Annalise Bobek have been doing a great job doing that. They would be the people to ask. So maybe we can ask them later on at 9:00.
Yeah.
So Kenny's show will be cut short today.
Oh,
unfortunately, we got to cut him short because I can't be in 3 places at once.
Sure.
I can only divide myself once.
All right. Well,
yes.
I wish you all great luck. Everybody, you've got 2 choices. Actually, it's a big music week in Westfield. And if you've... Oh, yeah. We've got the open air open mic night. Open mic night down on the green on Wednesday night. On Thursday night, you have the Westfield on Weekends Music Fest at Park Square.
Yep.
And then we have Downtown Live with Stumpy McToad and his company. Stumpy McToad. How do you like that for a name?
Oh, that's good. They're a good band, actually.
It's a great band. And we just saw Dwayne yesterday. I ran into him while I was doing my shopping at the Big Y with my bagless shopping. And he was telling me that they're playing on Friday night. And I think that starts, if I'm not mistaken, at 6:30 or so. I think
that sounds right.
Yeah, and White Lion is providing the beer, which is very
They're
good.
Doing
this
the beer
is
garden.
in Mina's Wine and Spirits lot. It's produced by Artworks
53.
of. Then we have.
There's always the farmers market on Thursday.
Oh, farmers market on Thursday.
With music there too.
Yeah, and then on.
I think Harry's playing Amelia's Garden this week. I think
that's tonight. Oh, my God, Harry Rock.
That might be indoors, though.
Yeah, it might be indoors over in Amelia Park Ice Arena. That is tonight. We have lots of things happening.
I love the people that still say nothing happens in Westfield. That amazes me that they can actually try to make that claim.
Always. Well, we are celebrating Woodstock.
Yes.
And Woodstock was a happening, just like things happen in Westfield. We never have had that big of a audience. I think our biggest audience is for Pumpkin Fest and or some of the big concerts that we do. We weren't able to do big concerts this year because of the Cake on the Green, so they're smaller concerts, but they're still wonderful. By
the way, the reason, you know why the reason the cake stayed up so long?
Well, you tell me.
Is because the World Series kind of co-branded with the 350 this year, the cake stayed up through the World Series so the teams could take pictures in front of the cake.
I love it. What a great idea. A great idea.
Plus, it gave people a little bit more time. I believe it's coming down like September 1st.
Yeah, it's coming down around the 1st or the 3rd or whatever there. Yep. So if you haven't had a picture in front of that cake.
Take your picture.
Yeah. For those in Wisconsin folks out there, there's this huge cake on our green. It has 300 candles and
350.
350 candles.
Yes.
It is going someplace else.
And it's being reused. We're recycling it.
Yeah,
because the town of Hatfield, about 20 miles up the road, has their 350th birthday next year. And they have purchased the cake, and they're going to change the lettering on it to fit their town.
Just perfect. And that cake will be all over the place. Hey, that was produced by a lot of wonderful people, and Harry Rock and the 350th.
He was honored last night at the World Series. He threw out the first pitch along with the mayor.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific. We love Harry. Hey,
All right, 6:41. Which break are you
6:40.
going to cut?
Yeah. I'm going to play Richie Havens. I got to play Richie Havens because Richie Havens was the first act on day one at Woodstock.
Okay.
And I'm going to play for you Here Comes the Sun. What he played at Woodstock is very interesting, and I got to look at my glasses.
His set
here.
list?
Yeah, my set list. Wait a minute. I'm taking this thing off here. If you're watching on television, this looks kind of crazy.
All right,
there
put
we
your
go.
headphones back on so you can hear me.
Yeah, he from the prison get together from the prison was a medley. Then he played Stranger, High Flying Bird, I Can't Make It Anymore, with a little help from my friends Handsome Johnny, Strawberry Fields Forever, and Freedom. And I think he also played this song. It is Here Comes the Sun. So this is from Woodstock. Richie Havens, Here Comes the Sun.
Little darling, it's been a long, long, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. Little darling, the smiles are returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since they've been there. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. Little darling, I see the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Oh, there goes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's alright. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, here comes the sun, here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. It's alright. No, 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 no. It's alright.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning. It is August 13th, 1969. And it is
What?
Woodstock. Yeah, 1969, 50 years ago. You weren't born, Peter.
Correct.
I was 2 years out of college. I was teaching at St. George's Parochial School in Chicopee Falls. I was the only man amongst all these nuns, and we had to share a bathroom together. And I remember 1969, and I didn't have a mother telling me you can't go to Woodstock.
So did you try to go?
No, this is very interesting. I was thinking back on this. We tried to go to the Newport Jazz Festival, which was, this is the year that I think that Bob Dylan played electronic at the Newport Jazz Festival and almost got booed off the stage. But we didn't, or Folk Festival. What am I saying? Newport Jazz Festival, Newport Folk Festival. And so electronic music at the Folk Festival was uncommon or whatever. But I remember trying to get there, and we got halfway, and I ended up sleeping on a lawn. But as far as Woodstock was concerned, we heard about it, but I was in my room listening to Broadway show tunes. And if I had looked at the schedule of the performance, I mean, it's only recently
Wasn't your bag?
It wasn't my bag. Yeah. Can you name some of those performers who were there, Peter, at all?
I know Santana was there.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young there?
Yeah, actually, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. That was one of their first appearances ever on stage together.
Really? I didn't know that.
Didn't you not know that? Yeah, I watched that on their that special when I was doing that. So
Jimi Hendrix.
What did Jimi Hendrix play that was so unique?
Didn't he play the national anthem?
Yeah. Huh? What was
On a
what
guitar?
else? What was also
Played it solo on an electric guitar, as I recall.
He did. He used to do it all of the time. He played it. What day of the festival? Do you know?
I thought he played on the last day.
You're exactly right. The last thing that happened was Jimi Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner. That great version.
See,
of
I have
his.
a clue, you know.
Yeah, you're very good. You're very good. By that time, the third day, there were only about 25,000 people there. So the 300,000 strong that was at there.
Well, it kind of become a quagmire.
Oh,
And I mean that in the dictionary term quagmire.
Mm-hmm. Peter, another question
It was
for
a bit
you.
messy.
Yeah, it was a little bit messy. What was so unique about it was, I think, that we had all of these young hippies there. It was really not we think of it
Some
as
say,
part.
nowadays they would say it was dangerous.
Well, it would have. Well, they tried to do one this year. Did you know that they were
Fell
going to
apart.
It did fall apart. It fell apart in July. Actually, they were planning on moving it to the someplace down in, I think, Maryland. Somewhere.
Yeah, they couldn't find a location in New York. They
Yeah.
tried it. I believe they tried it.
It was going to
15
be
years ago or something.
Yeah.
On the 40th anniversary.
Yeah, probably.
And then a concert that became a mess because they had fights and people were getting raped. And
Yeah.
it was bad.
That was terrible. Whereas the first Woodstock was peaceful as can be.
Although the same sort of activities were going on in the first one, and back then they called it free love.
Ah, yes, of course, and there was.
It was the same activities going on.
Right. The
Probably
myth has it that there was
the same circumstances, but nowadays they call that rape, and back then they called it free love.
Oh, okay. Oh, I wonder. Well, it's a good question whether
It's just societal norms have changed, and things,
Yeah.
norms of the event have changed. And
Sure.
what used to be called this is now called this.
Well, no, but free love, consenting adults doing it, and the hippies were.
That's what I'm saying.
They were doing it with everybody. I mean, it was
That's
not.
what I'm saying.
It was not against
They were
anyone's will.
they were trying that up there, but there was drugs involved.
Oh, there were very much
There was also the drugs involved at both events. But now, when you drug somebody and you have fun like that, it's a crime.
Well, and damn well.
Back
should
then,
be.
when you had drugs and did stuff like that, it was we were just having drugs.
Well, it would depend on the.
It's just it's different ways of looking at things, Bob. It's what I was trying to point out is you can't judge the actions back then of the norms of today.
No. And,
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that Woodstock actually has a mythological sort of.
Sure.
We think of it mythologically.
Yeah.
And we think of it as days of peace and love. There were very few people who spoke out about the war, which was in its full swing. Vietnam was happening very much in 1969. It was the worst year of the war. And but at Woodstock, there were a few people. The rest of that, they were singing about love and peace and all of this sort of stuff. There was one baby born, maybe 3. There was one death. One teenager got run over by a tractor, incidentally, and there were like 9 miscarriages or something like that. They were totally unprepared for what happened. Yeah, but the idea that all of these kids could coexist in this city right there that was created.
Pretty much,
on,
yeah. It was
on
a
a
town.
hill, yeah. I've never been. There's a Woodstock museum there, and actually now it's in. Actually, the town of Woodstock is not where it went. It was held. Do you know what town it was held in?
I can't remember. Saugerties?
Bethel, New York.
Oh, Bethel. I thought it was in Saugerties.
Bethel, New York. Well, maybe it's close. I don't know, but it was. In Bethel, New York. Okay, name 2 other people that appeared at the Woodstock 1969.
Were the Doobie Brothers there?
No.
No, I'm not sure then.
All right. How about the Who?
Okay.
How about Johnny Winter?
Okay.
Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. We said.
Was War there?
War? No. Joe Cocker.
Yeah, Joe Cocker. Okay.
Joe Cocker, Country Joe and the Fish, 10 years after, the band, oh my God, Jefferson Airplane.
Okay. Means Grace Slick was there.
Oh, yeah. And there's another great singer who walked around holding a bottle of probably Southern Comfort, a woman with a very gravelly voice.
What's her name?
J.
Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company.
Mm-hmm. Janis Joplin and the Grateful Dead were there. My good friends, the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
And Sly and the Family Stone. Santana was high, very much high throughout most of his performance.
Through most of his career.
Yeah. It was he was tripping actually.
You know what? His guitar playing. I've seen the film of that.
Yes.
His guitar playing was legendary.
Oh yeah. Joan Baez was there, and here's an interesting bird that was there, Ravi Shankar. Do you remember who Ravi Shankar is?
The master of the pan flute?
No.
Oh, no, he was the
no.
Simtar or something?
Sitar,
yeah.
Yeah, he's the father of Nora Jones. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Yeah. So Ravi Shankar is, and the Maharishi at the time was also there. He did a blessing early on. Let me
Wonderful.
see. Melanie was there. Arlo Guthrie.
Oh, she had her brand new key.
Yeah, she had a brand new kid. Did you sing that song?
Yes, she did.
No. According to this, she sang "Close It All," "Mama, Mama," "Beautiful People," "Animal Crackers,"
Her only hit was Brand New Key.
"Mr. Tambourine Man," "Turning My Guitar," and "Birthday of the Sun." Yeah, nope. Nope.
All right, you need to take a break because your 7 o'clock is here.
Fabulous. So, hey, everybody, we got a big band on Thursday. So let's play the woman who is going to lead that big band. Her name is Samara Evans. She is the toast of New Orleans. She is a jazz, rhythm, and blues artist. Really wonderful. This is from an album of hers called Hot Club, and it's the title track. Hot Club, Samara Evans. See her on Thursday night. Starts at 6:30, free on the Green, Westfield on weekends.
Down in my purse, I hear my cell phone ringing. I know it's mine 'cause the ringtone's swinging. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. Say you wanna go where they're making a racket. Get on your shoes and your hounds to the jacket. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. Right coast, left coast, whichever plays the best host, it don't matter to me. Upside, downside, come along for the ride. You end up in the place to be. I'm back Loretta's barbecuing some chicken. On stage, the band is kicking. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. You've got the eyes of a gypsy, or maybe I'm just a little bit tipsy. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. I'm hip to what you're proposing, but I ain't leaving till the place is closing. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. A tisket, a tasket, have you seen my yellow basket? It might be in the car. 5th floor, 6th floor, here's the key to my door. You can take me to wherever you are. Oh, wrap me up in crimson and clover. Tomorrow night we'll do the same thing over. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. Hot club, hot club, hot club all the time. Hot club.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Longmeadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut, visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org.
Underwriting for Community Radio on WSKB is brought to you in part by Rockies. Over 30 convenient locations throughout Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Connecticut, and Florida. One of the nation's largest ACE dealers. Expertise and great product selection in paint, hardware, lawn and garden. That's Rockies. Rock solid service since 1926. On the web at rockies.com.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Hey, everybody. Look what the cat dragged in. Look who the cat dragged in. No, you didn't. The cat didn't drag you in, did they? No.
I dragged myself in.
You dragged yourself.
Good morning,
Bob, he
everybody.
drove in
It's
in a
great to
cool
be
white
here.
car. is
I
what he
saw
did.
the car driving in. Your chauffeur let you out there, and
Yeah, I have a personal driver. Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's a working
And
man.
he's
Don't
talking on the
start
radio.
that.
No,
we
no,
speak.
no. Dr. Kevin Coughlin, critic extraordinary. No, critic extraordinary. Well,
Bob,
you are a
can
critic.
you move your glasses? That looks horrible.
Does this look horrible?
Yes, look at that. He's got glasses flapping all over the
All
place.
right. So this was to read the thing. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to take that off. Oh, man.
Yeah, see, he
No,
does.
I've got these click glasses. You don't have these things. So you see on television, you pull
Yeah, but
them
then they go
apart.
all the way around your
Oh,
back,
there you
so-
are. But they're hard to work on the radio. Thank you, producer Pete, for caring about how I look.
Well, I know you care about how you look.
I
so
do.
I
do.
I kind of
Yeah.
mimic that for you.
Yeah. It's exactly right.
And Pete, you know I care about how I look. That's why I have Ascent Laser Aesthetics.
Absolutely.
Segue.
Nice segue. I like it. Look at that.
Very
Very
good.
smooth.
Yeah. We were talking. Kevin Coughlin is the founder of Ascent Dental Care, Ascent Dental Aesthetics. Is that right?
And Ascent Dental Solutions, which is my consulting business, so that people don't make the same mistakes that I've made over the last 38 years.
What was the biggest mistake you ever made?
The biggest
Wow.
mistake.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, I think all businessmen and women make the same mistakes. You sometimes trust people without verifying that trust. You just begin to just think everything is perfect, and in the real world, everybody has different obligations, different wants
Objectives,
and needs,
right?
And that comes with sometimes your age. I know when I was in my early 20s, what I was looking for was different than in my 40s. And now that I'm 61 years old, I'm just trying to get up with as few aches and pains as possible. But you had mentioned to me about charcoal toothpaste.
Yes,
Which is very, very popular today.
Really?
And it's more and more popular. And the idea behind charcoal toothpaste is basically a way to whiten your teeth and improve the appearance of your teeth. And for the listeners out there, it's a messy product. It's also a relatively expensive product. If you do a Google search on it, you'll find that most of these charcoal toothpaste can run between $18 and $20
A
on
tube?
Amazon. Yes. So for you listeners, understand that there are two types of discoloration on your teeth. There's intrinsic, which is within the tooth. And no matter how much you try to whiten your teeth with bleaching or over-the-counter products, you're not going to change the color or remove the discolorations with anything when the stain is intrinsic or within the tooth.
So, would a stain intrinsically be like, for instance, if someone has yellow teeth? I mean, it's a terrible expression. I always hated that expression. That sometimes a person can't help that?
They cannot help that. It's just what happens is there's a variety of different materials that make up a tooth. Cementum, dentin, and enamel are basically the three layers. And as the teeth become thinner from wear and that's also a nice discussion. These charcoal toothpaste, the idea behind them is it's activated charcoal, and the pores.
The same thing that I'm
charcoal-
cooking the steak on at the barbecue.
very similar.
Yeah.
And what it's trying to do is the pores in the charcoal are sucking out the extrinsic stains, which are typically cigarettes, cigars, red wine,
Coffee.
tea, and coffee.
Yeah.
Okay. Not that we would have any of that. But the object is if you have intrinsic staining, typically what we do is we try to cover the tooth with either a veneer or a crown. And
So you can solve the problem
yes,
of
you
yellow
can.
teeth.
Yes.
But
It
that
ma-
means like you're going to put a layer on top of your teeth.
Correct. And another approach that you see with intrinsic staining are individuals who've had sports injuries, motor vehicle injuries, and the blood vessels and nerves within the tooth start to die. And that blood rises to the surface within the tooth and discolors the tooth either a brown yellow
Oh,
or
I've seen
a
that.
rustish color, sometimes even a gray or a black.
Yeah.
And what we do is we drill a small hole in the back of the tooth and we fill that tooth with a superoxyl, which is just a medicinal type of bleach. We put a temporary filling on it and we change it every 7 to 10 days and we start to bleach the tooth from the inside rather than the outside.
Wow.
Typically those teeth need to be root canaled first, but there is a way to take care of the intrinsic and extrinsic.
So you could do that for teeth that have died, but you can't do it for teeth that are alive?
Well, if the tooth was alive, typically what you do is you try to bleach it from the exterior without putting Mr. and Mrs. Smith through the expense and time of doing root canals.
Got it.
Generally, the fees for the tooth whitening can range anywhere from $55 all the way up to $800. We've talked about it on the show in the past. More money does not mean a better system. It just means more money.
Yeah.
Every tooth is predisposed to a certain whiteness, and typically the average patient needs to whiten their teeth between once and twice a year for a period of 7 to 14 days. And then if you have a high intake of coffee, tea, cigarettes, et cetera, you might do it a little more frequently.
So for us coffee drinkers or red wine drinkers, I am both, and my teeth are a color that is not like the piano keys in my living room.
I never noticed that, Bob. I thought the pearly whites look beautiful on you.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Not just nice, but
thank you.
beautiful, yes.
Well, I think that you look. I mean, like your teeth are lovely. They're not. You know how you have
And
Peter.
they're my own.
Yeah.
I mean, which
Yeah.
is very important.
Well, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah. Peter,
Yes.
the idea of have you met people who are like they smile and you say, so fake. I mean, it
well,
is
you know
almost too white. I mean, it's
They call it Wayne Newton white.
Is that what it is?
There's an actual shade.
Oh,
And it's always the same thing. Dr.
Okay, that's
Kaufman,
funny.
If I'm going to spend all this money, I want my teeth white. And I go, just remember, it's not natural. But we're bombarded with what's unnatural every day. All you have to do is open up a magazine.
We have a question from the
or,
audience, by the
turn
way.
on the
Yeah.
TV
Oh, you
set.
do. Yeah. You got a question on this?
Does charcoal toothpaste make your teeth more sensitive?
Pete, I'm having a little trouble hearing you through my headphones, so I'm going to have Bob repeat the question.
Yeah. Does charcoal toothpaste make your teeth more sensitive?
Yes, and the reason for that is the charcoal toothpaste are abrasive. So what you're seeing in the consumer market is people are using the charcoal toothpaste as a complete replacement of normal toothpaste. And because of the abrasive nature, you're wearing away that outer protective layer, which is the enamel. And as that enamel gets worn away, the layer of material called dentin is alive and has nerve endings. So two things will occur if you use the product too much or inappropriately. One, you'll see that the color of the teeth will actually look worse because you're wearing away that protective layer.
Holy
and the
God.
dentin is more yellow-orange color. And the second thing is the teeth will be more sensitive. So
Well,
it's
then
like
it's not whitening your teeth. If you go out there, you buy the charcoal.
if you're using it inappropriately. So
does that
generally
mean-
what I
what-
would say is, you might want to consider the charcoal toothpaste, using it for anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe every other day or every third day until you've achieved the color. But I would be cautious about replacing it and using it as your sole dentifrice or toothpaste product
Right.
indefinitely.
So when you're at home, I often wonder, well, geez, what white is white? I mean, like, when do you stop using it?
Generally, you'll whiten your teeth for between 6 and 15 minutes every day for a period of 10 to 14 days, and then you stop.
Uh-huh.
And you just allow Mother Nature to go. But
Right.
It's
How
like
about baking soda, Doc?
baking soda, I think, is great. Hydrogen peroxide is great. You just have to be careful because they can burn the soft tissue, and you can irritate that soft tissue if you don't use it appropriately.
Uh-huh.
So, obviously, with everything in aesthetics, for the last 5 years doing Botox, fillers, et cetera, what you're finding is a certain population overdoes everything. We'll just consider it obsessive compulsive. If
Yeah.
I tell you to whiten your teeth for 5 to 6 minutes, you do it for 4 or 5 hours. And those patients need to be supervised because their personality and their drive to achieve the unnatural
To try
overrides-
to achieve the unnatural. I love that.
Right. And
Yeah.
you see that with Botox. Typically, you're giving 60 units in the upper third of the face, and it's not uncommon for the patient to come back and say, I want to be more frozen. I want to be more frozen.
Really?
I see a little bit of wrinkles. I want more frozen. And as a healthcare provider, you have to be able to draw a line and say, you know what? You've had enough. This is the best that we can achieve in a non-surgical means. And for patients who have that obsessive compulsive nature, I really don't recommend the surgical approach because they never stop. I mean, we've seen Joan Rivers. We've seen
Michael
enough-
Jackson had no nose.
Right. It's a compulsive behavior, like any behavior, whether it's booze, drugs,
Yeah.
sex, money, power, the
Yeah.
list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And for a certain percentage of the population that has a personality that's addictive, my recommendation is stay away.
Yeah, sure.
You'll spend a lot of money. and
So
you
it's
won't
and,
get
and,
the
and it's good to have somebody to finally say to you, "Hey, you're looking like as if
result. Enough is enough.
enough is enough."
But in their mind,
Barry Manilow to me has had too much Botox.
it's
It may be a
never,
lot.
it's never enough.
It's not.
If I say 60, they say, can I have 70? If I say 40, they want 60. It's and when I say that, that's a general comment. My recommendation to the public listening is less is usually better.
Uh-huh.
And with these types of products, there's nothing preventing you from getting a little more. So typically for the Botox and filler patients, I suggest a combination of Botox and fillers done at the same time. And I generally recommend doing a little bit every 3 to 4 months rather than doing a lot once a year.
Sure.
And that analogy is for most men and women, you don't dye your hair, let it go completely gray, and then dye your hair again. You generally are touching it up every 6 to 8 weeks,
Yeah.
so that the effect isn't as severe and the changes are more moderate in nature.
Very interesting.
It is very
yeah,
interesting.
no, it is.
No, say it again.
I love it.
Very
You are
interesting.
so interesting, Doctor. You
So
are.
I hope for the caller,
wait,
I answered their questions about the abrasive nature.
I got a question though.
I
Okay.
have an answer.
Yeah,
I haven't even heard the question, but I think I have the answer. Yes.
By the way, 7:14 at WSKB.
Oh my God, we're going to be taking a break in 1 second, but hey, for somebody like myself who has a lot of bridges and I hate to say false teeth, are they considered false? I don't have false teeth that you take out. I have bridges that have been placed there.
Yes.
Okay, so I whiten my teeth. Can I whiten a bridge? And how does that work? Because otherwise, I'm going to have this color here and that color there, and I mean, like, what do you solve that?
Consultation, a lot of money, pain and suffering. What else can I come up with? But the artificial structures in your mouth, whether they be partial dentures, full dentures, fixed bridges, dental implants, those are all they're all able to have an extrinsic stain. So again, if it's an extrinsic stain, the charcoal products, the over-the-counter tooth whitening products, the in-office whitenings can improve the color because it's a stain. We're going to remove it. Once that stain gets embedded in the material, which is typically acrylic or porcelain or zirconium,
right,
then you're not going to remove that stain with an extraoral product. You're going to have your dentist use some special equipment, which really are fluted drills. So think of a piece of wood that's got a stain on it. You're using a little sandpaper.
Oh,
and you're
my God.
slowly but methodically removing the outer surfaces to try to get the intrinsic stain on these artificial devices that are in our mouth.
Sure.
Whether it be a white filling, a metal filling, a porcelain filling, an acrylic filling.
That's rather
or crown
distressing for me, Doc.
Right. So typically for my profession, when someone says, I want to do tooth whitening, you take a look at all the teeth. You make a determination of how many are natural and how many are artificial.
Right.
And generally what you do is you try to get Mr. and Mrs. Smith to say, you know what, why don't we do all the crowns, all the bridges, all over at the same time? In the real world, that's an expensive and time-consuming procedure. And for most people, they go, if you could just make the upper 6 teeth look better, I'm going to leave the rest. Okay? Because 80% of our smile are from canine to canine or eye tooth to eye tooth.
On the top?
On the top.
Yeah.
For most people.
Yeah.
You know, if
unless you
Julia
smile.
Roberts,
Yeah.
She's got Farrah Fawcett, you know, from
you sit down. You feel like playing their teeth. I feel like sitting down and playing their teeth.
Yes.
Yeah. Speaking of music, we've been celebrating Woodstock, but we have to. I want everybody to come to this concert. Thursday night, we have our Music Fest Westfield and Weekends concert right there at Park Square, 6:30, and it is a big band. It's the Wolf Pit Big Band, directed by Tim Atherton, founded by our WOW's very own Ed Orgill, from a professor at Westfield State. I need to tell everybody that this concert would not have gone forward without the help of Westfield State University, who is a great partner in this, and it's a community partner, but I wanted to sort of combine big band music with Woodstock. Okay, so I'm going to start. We're going to listen to Tommy Dorsey's rendition of Boogie Woogie, which was a big hit back in 1938, and we're going to get to Woodstock. I'm going to play a couple of versions of Boogie Woogie. You know how the Boogie Woogie has a very, if Ed Orgill were here, he would tell me that the left hand, that dun 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 dun, it's something that goes over and over and over again. That's sort of like a Boogie Woogie.
You keep saying Boogie Woogie, I'm going to say Gesundheit.
Gesundheit. Hail Sneezer, as we say in showbiz. Tommy Dorsey's 1938 Boogie Woogie. If you want to hear good Boogie Woogie or great big band music, Thursday night, 6:30 on the Green. Wows.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
One of our underwriters here at WSKB's Community Radio is Carson Center for Health and Human Services, a nonprofit organization located at 20 Broad Street in Westfield. They provided behavioral health and rehabilitation services in communities throughout Western Massachusetts since 1963. There are services for children, adolescents, adults, families, and couples. You can find them on the web at carsoncenter.org or at 413-572-4132.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes and Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and it is August 13th, 2019. We have dentist, the Duke of Dentistry here, and the Sultan of the Spa.
Oh, I like the way that sounds.
Yeah, you have the Sultan of the Spa. Yeah, is that a good one for you?
Very nice.
Dr. Kevin Coughlin from Ascent Dental Care, Ascent Dental Solutions, Ascent Dental Aesthetics. Is there a dental in the aesthetics part?
No, totally separate companies.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah. So we were reminiscing about, I was asking Kevin about Woodstock, and unfortunately, although he is closer to my age than Peter Coles back there,
yes,
he was actually 11 years old when Woodstock happened. You were 11 when Woodstock happened? 1969.
Right.
Yeah. But you
so
know,
now
at least you got to
everybody
see.
knows I'm 61 years old.
You got to see the moon landing, though. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I did.
You did. You did get to see the moon landing. You remember that?
I do remember that. I remember President Kennedy being shot. I remember our family sitting around the table.
Mm-hmm.
I vividly remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember the Ed Sullivan show. Funny, the things that
really.
I just remember seeing Ed Sullivan and.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about the being born in 45. I didn't probably have television until about 1955, and we had one of those little. We were one of the first in my neighborhood. I don't know where the money came from for our little TV that was only on a couple of hours a day, incidentally, and Saturday mornings for kids. And it was all culture stuff. I mean, like the stuff that we were watching then was ballet and classical music and stuff. That was what they put on television for the most part.
Lawrence
but
Welk.
yeah, that was even a little later. Yeah, it became in the early days. It was all cultural stuff. The first thing I ever saw on television was at my Aunt Lyda's house, and she had on a ballet, as I remember it, down on Mulberry Street, where Dr. Seuss was hanging out. Yeah, but my only memory of radio was the Rosary every night, and my family would sit around the table. And, well, I don't think we knelt, but we would have to say the Rosary at 7:15 every night, everybody.
There you go.
Yeah. Holy God. In the name of the Father and of the Son, the third decade of the third glorious mystery. What, it was... You didn't have to do that.
I never did. I did.
Did
go
you
to
ever
church.
say the Rosary?
I went to church.
Did you ever
week.
say the Rosary, Dr. Kevin?
I do say a prayer every morning.
You do?
And then
which one is it?
I usually say the Hail Mary.
Really?
Every
See, I do
single
I like the Our
and
Father.
if I have time, I do the Our Father. That's his backup.
Oh,
okay. And if it was a bad night, sometimes I'll do them.
Oh my God! Oh yeah! Oh God! What was
the
that
Irish
one?
Guild.
For the Irish Guild. I have offended thee in so many ways. Please keep me from the fires of hell. I
Bob
don't know.
Freeforms.
Yeah, that's a freeform prayer. But you don't remember at all. You were saying that you were a family without music, basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't phrase it.
I mean, it
exactly
sounds like you were
that.
deprived.
It was a great family. If I had to do anything over, I would do nothing. Parents were fantastic.
Yeah.
The neighborhood was fantastic. I just remember spending most of my time outside, and that's maybe because we didn't have a TV. Like right now, I think I have a TV in every room.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's almost disgusting.
Where-
I mean, I have
yeah.
a TV in the kitchen, a TV in the family room.
You don't have a TV in the bathroom, do you?
No, I do not.
Oh,
But you have your phone.
No, I don't even do that.
There is a law against that in your house. You don't
Yes.
bring the phone into the bathroom.
No. And
So
actually-
you're not going to be talking to me on the phone while you're in the.
You never
Is
have to worry about that with
Is
me.
that a is that against?
It's a faux pas.
Is it? Emily
is.
Post would say.
I think it
"Do
would be
not-"
a faux pas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree with him on that one.
Yeah. I sort of agree. I always feel, oh God, and you would never tell anybody that you were in the bathroom. And
You'd
while
wait
you
to
were-
flush a long time if you did.
Yes,
Yeah.
I avoid it. I am a germaphobe, so that's
I am
something.
the same way about
I
bathrooms.
just,
Yeah. Well, that comes. I'm glad because your hands are in people's mouths all day long.
I just know that for me personally, I am a germaphobe. I like things neat, clean, and organized. And it's sometimes difficult in business to keep that when you have multiple team members. Everybody has a different opinion. So in our particular new office, we have a beautiful lunchroom. And it drives me crazy to see dishes, forks, knives, food on the table. You eat, clean it. You put it away. But when you have a group of people, everybody is brought up a little different. But for me, I like the dishes done and put away, the glasses put away.
Right after the meal.
Yes.
James always tells me that finish your actions.
Absolutely.
So we've learned that this is very nice, Peter. What I do is I cook the meal and then I prepare and then we eat it, and then we're going to sit and watch television. So, but in one of the breaks, I go out and I get the preparation for James to wash the dishes. So I put everything in a certain, like the forks are over here and the plates are over here, the glasses, etc., and then James does it, and after the television, I go out in the kitchen. It's not like I ever cooked. I'm the sloppiest cook in the world, incidentally. So I thank
so
God.
long as the food is good.
You're lucky, Bob, because I have to do everything.
Oh God,
You're doing it all, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta let hashtag know that she needs to, in a timely fashion.
Yeah.
In a timely fashion.
So
Hashtag.
you wanted to
Hashtag
ask-
his girlfriend.
You wanted to ask me questions about bamboo toothbrushes.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Oh, where did you? Where? Oh my God! Yes.
You don't think
Oh,
I study
you
and
d-
prepare for these?
Oh my God! I
You
would
think
say
I just show up and
No.
just ad lib
I would
for
say,
an hour?
Yeah.
Yes, you do, but
Okay.
it sounds really good.
It sounds like I'm prepared.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Well, I send you what's trending and trending.
Yeah.
Bamboo.
Bob is a trendy sort.
Yeah.
Bamboo. Well, with everybody trying to recycle to make less of an impact on the environment, most people would know that the average toothbrush is 60-70% petroleum. It's plastic. So what companies are looking for, the green to be green. Green companies, whether you're buying a condominium, an apartment.
Big Y and their paper bags, no longer plastic bags.
Correct.
Big Y, like we talked about.
Same with the straws. But with the toothbrushes, it's interesting that a toothbrush, that plastic handle almost never biodegrades. Like
No,
most
you're
plastic.
kidding me.
And you think of the billions of people, I think we're approaching 9 billion people on the planet. And just assume that the majority are brushing their teeth. Okay, what happens to that? So companies have come out with the bamboo handle. But basically, there are two components to every toothbrush. One is the handle that you're holding, and the other are the bristles.
Yes.
So
what are those? Those are plastic.
those
aren't they?
bristles are a nylon, a plastic. So what some of these companies are doing now is they're transferring the nylon bristles into actually a castor bean oil. So these bristles can now biodegrade. They're about 60 to 70% less petroleum in the construction of the bristle portion. So when you look at a toothbrush and you look at the bristles, those are called tufts, Tufts, tufts. And they're made of nylon fibers. And those nylon fibers, again, because they're a petroleum-based product, tend not to biodegrade. So now you're getting the bamboo handle with these biodegradable, or let's just say more biodegradable brushes. So if you take a bamboo toothbrush, you can throw it in a compost pile, and in about 4 to 6 months, it will biodegrade. You take that plastic handle of a toothbrush, 1,000 years from today,
it's still going to
be a
here.
plastic toothbrush.
Wow, and there's no recycling. And I mean, what do they do with the? Can you make maybe Christmas ornaments or something?
Yeah, well, I think what sometimes the public does or doesn't fully understand is a toothbrush is a bacterial haven. There's blood on a toothbrush.
Oh, don't tell me
this.
this.
There's saliva on it.
Oh, no.
So typically what most people do is they throw it in the landfill. It goes into the trash. If I was in my office and I had bloody gauze, bloody whatever, a company has to come and pick it up and dispose of it safely.
Right.
At your house, to my knowledge, no one in the United States is coming up and picking up these, quote, contaminated objects.
And you can't throw it in the recyclables. I always throw it in the trash, so it's going to be...
It's going into the landfill.
It's going into the landfill.
Yeah.
What did you would think that would be a thing for the ADA? Is that American Dental Association?
The American Dental Association is the ADA, yes.
Well, maybe to lobby that we establish a rule that our oral no.
Well, I'm just telling you that it can cost me anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a month for a company to come to my office and pick up what would be considered hazardous waste. So if I pull out your tooth, which I'm doing today, I'm removing 8 wisdom teeth at 9 o'clock this morning.
Holy mother! And 2 people, I hope.
What do you do with those teeth?
Yeah. What do you do with those teeth? We're going to put them on a string, and I'm going to wear them around my neck.
What we do is they get sterilized. They're put in a sterile pouch, and then a company comes either once a week, once a month, depending on the schedule, and picks up all this biohazardous material because there's blood and tissue on it, and that blood and tissue is considered infected. Or potentially infective. So in the early 80s, I'd pull out little Johnny or little Mary's tooth, I'd give it to them, and mom and dad would take it home. Today, you're really not supposed to do that because little Johnny or Mary are showing their friends, mom and dad are touching it, and there's tissue and blood on those teeth.
So where do they go? Where's the land of teeth that have been...
They usually are getting incinerated. Okay, they're cooked to a powder and incinerated. The problem is some of these teeth have metal fillings in them, plastic fillings in them. So the infection control, I would say infection control in our office is one of our single largest expenses. I mean, almost everything today has to be disposed of because of the possibility of contamination. And you consider everything contaminated.
Yeah.
That's the way you're expected to focus and operate on a daily bed. So a cottage industry is this ability to take common household products. I mean, think of a razor, plastic.
Oh, I know.
Disposable.
Oh, I know.
Disposable.
Yeah.
Everything is disposable. And when they're petroleum or plastic based, how do you recycle that?
Yeah. How did they, back in the 18 and the 1900s, early 1900s, how did people, or even back in the 1700s, how did they brush their teeth? When's the earliest recorded toothbrush, I wonder? I mean, like, what were they using
It's
back
funny
then?
you should ask that.
Yeah,
No.
you know that?
No, I have no idea. I know they used to use
Twigs?
Twigs, okay. They used charcoal, actually, over 2,000 years ago. The Greeks, okay, and the Japanese, the Chinese were using charcoal to clean their teeth. They just innately knew that charcoal can remove poisons. It's a filter.
Yeah.
And they started using that, and now, like most things, it's very rare that you see something that's purely unique. It's usually something that was thought of and is brought back, and market forces.
Yeah.
Just, this phase of charcoal toothpaste will probably come and go, but it'll make a lot of people rich while it's here.
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
well, I want to bring on the bamboo. We're going to.
Bamboo is the fastest growing plant, I believe, on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Nothing, I believe, grows faster.
Dude, can we buy bamboo in the stores now?
Yes, you can.
Yeah. And the other idea, is it more expensive? And how often do you change a toothbrush? That's a good question.
You should change your toothbrush every 3 months.
Every 3 months. So every time I go in I get my teeth cleaned every 3 months. So I get a new toothbrush. Yeah.
I'd like to see people doing it every couple of months, but nobody's listening to me. That's a self-promotion. Don't take that as fact.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you. Hey, it is 7:36 in the morning on August 13th.
And you have to be out on time because Ken only has an hour today.
Oh, I know it. So yeah. So here's
we have baseball at 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to play. I'm going to play a song. I played you a 1938 boogie. Now I'm going to play you a song from the 30s and the 40s that is actually been recorded in 2012 by a big band in the modern era with a young singer who puts her own spin on this. Have you ever heard of Cow Boogie? No. Ella Mae Morris had a big hit with Ella Mae Morris.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. Cow Boogie. This is the...
2012 was a fantastic year for this next wonderful young artist. She's chosen a delightful old song to do. We welcome Leanne LaHavas.
Out on the plains, down in Santa Fe, I met a cowboy riding the range one day, and as he jogged along, I heard him singing a most peculiar cowboy song. It was a ditty he learned in the city. Come to I-I-A, come to yippee-I-A, get along, getting hip, little doggy, get along. You better be on your way, get along, get hip, little doggy, and he trucked him on down the old fairway, singing the cow boogie in the strangest way. Come to I-I-A, come to yippee-I-A, singing a cowboy song. He's just too much. He's got a knocked up western accent with a hard touch. He was raised on local weed. He's what you call a swing half-breed, singing the cow boogie in the strangest way. Come out to I-I-A, come out to yippee-I-A. day, and as he jogged along, I heard him singing a most peculiar cowboy song. It was a ditty he learned in the city. Come to come to yippee, this cowboy song. You better be on your way, get along, getting hip, little doggy, and you start to move down old fairway, singing the cow boogie, let's trace this way. Tippity-yay.
The wonderful Leanne LaHavis, the Cow Boogie. We will be hearing more from the wonderful Leanne LaHavis later on.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Westfield on weekends is having a wonderful celebration on Thursday night of music. And it's a great week for music in Westfield. We've got tonight is Amelia Park with Harry Rock. Tomorrow night, Wednesday, is on at Park Square, and that's open air mic, I think they call it. And then on Thursday night at 6:30 at Park Square, you can come early at 6 and have some food. We have Music Fest, Westfield on Weekends Music Fest, and this week we have the Wolf Pit Big Band with great vocalist Samara Evans, internationally well known. She's the toast of New Orleans, and she's going to be right there on the green. And like a big band, you haven't lived until you like big band music. I mean, big band music is.
I like all music.
Yeah, great, good. That's Kevin Coughlin, Dr. Kevin Coughlin, if you don't know. Peter
Who likes all music.
Yeah, Peter Coles is behind the board, the kitten of the keys, meow, and he's the August arbiter of the airwaves. He chooses what's on the airwaves in Westfield. And
he makes us sound and look good.
He does make us sounding look good. We're up here at Westfield State University's great new studio, and we are not Westfield State University. Thank you. Ken Stopsky looked askance at me. Where are we? We're at Westfield Technical Academy.
Yes.
We're not at the university.
I actually was at the university because I went to the wrong place. But
no, you did?
Yes.
Or out of habit?
Yes.
Oh.
It's habit.
When did you learn? This morning and when did you drove in and you said, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to be
When I put the headphones on and realized I was the only one there, that was a clue. And I said, perhaps I should U-turn this and come right down here.
I got you.
It'll eventually.
You got here on time.
I
and
got here on time.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Hey, Doc, we one of the trends. This sounds really crazy. Robot dentists.
Yes.
Artificial intelligence.
Yes.
How does that fit into the world of dentistry? Are you gonna have a robot doing my teeth eventually?
We already do. Yes.
You already do?
Yes. I mean, I just spent 3 days of training, and without boring the listeners,
you never bore the listeners.
I can take an image of your tooth, and it's a scanner. And then I can take another image, like a CAT scan, and I merge these two images together, and it creates a surgical guide that's milled. I then place
wait,
that.
wait a minute. Use that. What?
So
milled?
you're taking milled. It's just like a 3D printer. So you sit in the chair, and I take an image which takes between 2 and 6 minutes. And basically, what it does is it scans the interior of your mouth.
Oh.
And on my computer, you can see this scanned image of your teeth, your gums, your entire oral cavity.
Right.
And then I take another extra oral image, which gives me the hard tissue, the bones of the upper and lower jaw. Those two images get merged and go into my milling machine. And this milling machine creates what we call a surgical guide. And then virtually, I place your dental implant in the exact, when I tell you the exact location. And to do that, I no longer have to lay a flap. Basically, these surgical guides have specific holes where the implant is going. So what you're seeing is this move towards as close to perfection as possible.
Yeah.
So when a dentist puts an implant, someone like me, I think I put my first implant in 1983. I looked in your mouth, I saw a missing tooth, I drilled a hole, hoped for the best that the implant was in the bone, hoped for the best that the implant would last, hoped for the best that the implant was in the right position. It wasn't too forward, it wasn't too backwards, et cetera, et cetera. Today, the merging of this technology is just, it's mind-boggling. I did 4 implants 2 weeks ago with this system, and each implant took me a little less than 20 minutes, and the position and the location of the implant, for me personally, there could be other surgeons out there that are technically better than me.
Sure.
But I could not have done these surgeries freehand anywhere near as accurately as with this system. The
Amazing.
problem is the scanner is, let's say, $200,000. The
Yeah.
other scanner is another $200,000. So the technology is there, but less than 0.5% of the dentists have this technology.
Right.
Not because they're cheap or they don't want to spend the money.
No.
Sometimes people are slow to adapt new technology because they know rapidly there'll be changes. So you just invest $400,000 or $500,000, and in 2 years, that technology could be obsolete.
Yeah.
So I understand why sometimes in medicine and dentistry we're a little slower. And besides the economic factors, people are waiting for more and more cases to be done to determine, is this going to be a successful approach to care? In the dental schools now in the United States, and there's close to 60 of them, many of the students are being trained on computers. If you think about healthcare today in almost all countries, you're actually practicing on live human beings. Think about that. So the first time I did a filling, Mr. and Mrs. Smith sat in my chair and instructors watching me drill a hole, which I had
scary.
never done.
Yeah.
So they realized that using people...
Was your hand shaking at that time?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was a nervous wreck.
Yeah.
And I think most people starting a procedure that's new, you're nervous. How do you get better? And you're practicing on people. And now with the advent of computers, most of the dental schools, you're actually drilling on a computer. It's a computer
really?
model, and that computer is telling you you went too deep, too fast, too large, too small, and it's guiding that student to make as few mistakes as possible.
So
when they
you're not
actually-
practicing on people any longer.
And part of that
That's
reason is
training.
malpractice. In other words, if you think of it, the first time I'm doing a root canal,
right,
there's a strong possibility I'm going to obliterate your tooth because it's the first
Good
time
news.
I'm doing that.
Oh,
And,
God, yeah.
These litigations are is a computer at this point cannot simulate real life. In other words, your tongue is in the way. Mr. and Mrs. Smith move. They cough.
Mhm.
They
They said,
It says
take
a
this out of
million-
my mouth immediately.
Right.
You
And
know,
it's the same with self-driving cars.
Yeah.
Most of you know I have a Tesla. I've had a Tesla for close to 3 years.
Well, your chauffeur is out there waiting for you. Right? Yeah.
And I hope they're getting me breakfast. Too.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'll be very disappointed.
You
That
won't-
person will be gone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he'll be here.
Yeah, they won't be here next
Reggie
month.
won't be here
No,
next
no,
month.
no.
I love that little uniform that you have him wear.
Oh, yeah. Well, you want to play the part. So, in any case, the self-driving cars, all artificial intelligence is basically more and more approaches to improve the artificial intelligence. So if you got 1 million miles of a self-driving car, it's not going to be as good as 10 million miles and 100 million miles. Each time it's anticipating a different event. I think the first Tesla accident was a trailer truck hitting another car because there was a hill. And one car was coming up the hill,
Yeah.
the other car from the other direction was coming up the hill, and the cameras couldn't sense it because of the pitch of the hill. That gets fed into the artificial intelligence, which I'm proud to say my son is doing at the University of Illinois. And he's actually the one educating me in this. And he goes, Dad, it's just codes. You're just constantly writing new codes to correct for the millions of potential scenarios.
Yeah.
And
well, it's sort of like we live. I mean, our brain takes all this information and then our experiences lead us to become who we are.
Correct.
Yeah.
But in the process, there are numerous mistakes.
Oh,
So
God
if
help
you're
us,
putting a
yes.
self-driving car out there or a computer in the mouth
Mm-hmm.
that's going to drill the tooth or place the implant, that computer has to learn. And it learns from mistakes.
Now, it would. Will there ever come a time that I'll have a robot greeting me at the door? Sit down, Bob. Open your mouth, and he is doing the work. Sort of like the kind of operations that folks do from afar. Do you know?
Well, some of your hotels have the newspaper dropped now by a computer.
Yeah?
Instead of having someone drop it, your hotel room, a newspaper outside your door,
Yeah.
it's a little computer that's running. The same with the carpet cleaning, the floor cleaning. It's computer generated, and it's going up and down, cleaning the hotel.
Which sort of like you could put a Roomba in my mouth and clean my mouth instead of a hygienist.
I think,
Yeah. What is that?
I believe that
That's not happening, is it?
It's not, to my knowledge, happening now, but I'm quite confident that it will be.
Yeah.
You know, this nanotechnology are basically these. Well, for example, for a colonoscopy, you swallow the camera.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
And the camera's doing it. That's nanotechnology, and the same thing is happening in dentistry.
Amazing.
It's happening in all of medicine.
Yeah.
It's happening in every.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by it.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a little break here because I want to play a boogie that was played at Woodstock. Do you believe that,
50 years, you
so
said.
that's how I'm connecting the concert on Thursday night at 6:30 Westfield on weekends.
Hey, Bob,
at
this
Park
is your
Square.
final break because we're done in 5 minutes.
I see. I got it. Don't
Okay.
worry. I'm all set here.
All right.
And I'm gonna play. Canned Heat. Okay.
Okay.
Canned Heat. Do you know Canned Heat at all?
I don't.
Peter? Do you know that band Canned Heat?
I know of them. I don't. I've never, it's been a while.
Okay. Well, Canned Heat at Woodstock actually did a boogie, and they called it the Woodstock Boogie. And I thought, geez, this is perfect. I play a boogie that the big band will play on Thursday night, and now we go to Woodstock, where Canned Heat actually plays a boogie during that 3-day celebration of peace and joy and in Bethel, New York in 1969. So this is Canned Heat, the Woodstock Boogie, and you'll hear the same thing, only it's played on the guitar. Hear that?
I can.
That played throughout. It's a boogie.
Well, a little red rooster told a little
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Barnes & Noble College Bookstore in the Ely Campus Center, offering Westfield State t-shirts, sweatshirts, and gift merchandise, all of your academic needs, and offering textbook materials in new, used, ebook, and rental formats. Available at the bookstore on campus or online at westfieldstate.bncollege.com.
Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.
Wow, it's Tuesday morning, and we are winding down a wonderful 2 hours. You've wasted another wonderful 2 hours. Actually, I hope you've enjoyed yourselves. It's always a pleasure to have Kevin Coughlin from Ascent Dental. Where are you located, anyway? You're in East Long Meadow now.
Yeah, 3 offices.
Yeah.
2 in East Long Meadow, 1 in Long Meadow, and hopefully 4th very soon, which I'll be happy to make an announcement once everything is signed, sealed, and delivered.
I gotcha. And you have a spa where people can go and have Botox treatments and all that sort of stuff?
It's in the backyard of my house. Yes.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. But, we're working on the med spa. It should be completed in about another 4, maybe 5 months. But I have that location.
Are you going to have masseurs and everything there? And
I believe in my eyes and in my mind it'll be the most beautiful spa anywhere. When I'm done, it'll be outstanding.
Hey, I have my goddaughter's mom is a wonderful masseur. I don't know.
She's hired.
Can you should I connect her with you?
Absolutely.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, wait, Gina Curtis.
Anybody who's good, I want on my team.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, we'll talk about
I
that.
want to say thank you so much for inviting me again. I enjoy it. I enjoy this time, and I appreciate the opportunity.
I love the idea that we've spent 50 years of our lives together.
Yes.
Kevin. He was one of my students back in Agawam, and we are so thrilled that he has done well in the world of dentistry and the world of radio, and I am responsible for this.
You're 100% responsible.
Yeah.
My parents first. You're second.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. You're in the top 5.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, where you go to AscentDental.com?
Yeah. The website is AscentDentalCare.com, Ascent Solutions.com, and Ascent Laser Aesthetics.
You look at that.
And I want to thank everybody for listening. I hope you got something out of today's show.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, get out there and volunteer. See you next week. Also, see you Thursday night for the concert on the Green at Park Square, 6:30, Westfield End Weekends Music Fest with the Wolf Pit Big Band and Samara Evans. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you soon.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Westfield Bank. For more than 160 years, Westfield Bank has been an important community presence and commercial leader in the Pioneer Valley, with convenient full banking services in Westfield, West Springfield, East Long Meadow, Agawam, Feeding Hills, Springfield, Southwick, as well as Enfield and Granby, Connecticut. Visit us on the web at westfieldbank.org. Wednesday mornings start off right from 6 to 8 a.m. with Tina Gorman and Wake Up Wednesday.
Community Radio.
89.5 WSKB.
Live from the campus of Westfield State University, this is 89.5 FM, WSKB, Westfield.